omens. Give me sight beyond sight. Beyond sight. Beyond sight.
Welcome to Sight Beyond Sight. It's your boy Andrew. You already know. Here with Nick. Obviously, I'm just going to introduce him. I'm not going to let him speak. We're here to talk about the last episode of WandaVision and all this craziness that happened. I just want to point out real quick. I'm going to just throw it out there so I can get it out the way. Yeah, we were wrong. Everybody was wrong about Mephisto. You got me. We're all good. But all right, Nick, go in and give us the episode breakdown before we go into it.
All right. So if this is all spoilers, so we're going to get into all the details about the episode, and then we're going to break it down in the sense that what we thought about the scenes and all that. So it starts off like we thought it was going to start off, or at least I did, when we're starting off in the street. We're going to have the street fight. And it starts off with the action with Agnes versus Wanda, and then the kids do a little something. Well, not yet, but, Then you get White Vision versus Vision, which is awesome. So you, for the first, I would say 20 minutes, right? It was just nothing but that. It was it was that fight, and then it goes to Monaco
say the first 15 minutes, because then it was like a good 5-minute part just breaking down the whole Monaco shit. Yeah.
Oh, wait. So it goes to the fight. Yeah, because... then the White Vision comes, it goes to Monica, then it goes back to the fight with Agnes and her, and they go to the street corner. Basically, Agnes is the one who's stealing her powers every time she uses it on her, and she's basically messing with Wanda's mind, saying, like, you did all this and all these, and she's, Agnes is letting certain people free from their control, and they all start breaking down, like, let us out of here, or don't tell my husband not to come, and like leave this place forever and all this stuff, and Wanda's kind of like, yo, you're happy, and they're like, no. Like, no.
Yeah, it was all fucking in the head, because I was what her name is, Betty, I think it was, the chick from episode 2,
the blonde hair,
like her, whatchamacallit, it's just like, it's hilarious how they do it, because it's like I said, like they really feel like they know what we're going to like assume and talk about. Yeah. So who would they go to first as the first person that they would break the the puppet strings from? Yeah. It was her, and then having her being like, no, you're saying this, and then it answers everything, where it was like, where's all the children? And she says like, oh, my daughter's locked in like whatever, like a room. Yeah. And you're keeping me from her and all of that. So it, it had that little interesting part to it. Like they just gave us everybody, like every aspect of a person, except for the guy with the mustache.
That was kind of weird. Yeah. But they did give everyone else, like the mailman that everyone again thought was in Mephisto for a while. Yeah. The black guy. I know it's gonna sound bad me saying that, but I don't know his name.
Apparently they say that in other shows that I listen to. They just say the black guy.
So it was, but I think that was a cool scene, because not just the fight. I know I'm breezing through the fighting, because to me it was just a bolt and a bolt. The fight I want to see, I want to talk about more is the Monica and Quicksilver, and I'll get to that where I did the quotes. And then the Vision versus Vision, because I thought those are the two best things, like until the end when you get the main fight with Agnes and Wanda. Right. So breaking it down, Agnes kind of lets loose the mind control of everybody in the town. They're not really attacking Wanda, but they're pleading with her to let their family members go or something like that, and she's freaking out, like, you're happy, you're supposed to be happy, and that's why she made this place to be happy, and she's realizing that she messed up, and she does like a weird choke hold thing to everybody, which I kind of thought was kind of funny, because everyone's just like, oh, she was like, shut up, shit.
Basically.
If you notice the little details, her hands are turning black, and Agnes also. That's old school. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's some old school witch things. Like witches get like black hands and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not positive about that. I don't really
follow witch shit like that. So.
But while this is happening, Hayward is trying to get in. I think that was one of the times where. After she realizes, like, I'm messing up, she kind of opens the portal No,
Yeah.
is that later?
No,
Damn, I'm getting
she
that all
when
mixed up.
basically when she started choking them,
Yeah,
and she after they go to the what's his name, Hero, whatever his name was.
yeah,
They do the whole shit with Wu and how he takes the phone and he's saying that he's calling, I forgot whoever the hell he said he was calling.
yeah,
And then they go back to Wanda and she realized she doesn't want to hurt them, so she stopped, like she takes the choke thing. And then she realizes like, oh, I gotta let them out, and she starts letting them out.
yeah,
and
little by little. And then she notices that Vision starts deteriorating, her
Yeah.
kids start deteriorating, and then she kind of like sucks it back in. Like she kind of like lets people go, but when she opens the gates, Hayward and the army starts coming in,
Yeah.
and then she wants to save Vision and her kids, obviously, so she puts it back up after that. After that, we get a Vision versus Vision fight where Vision comes in, or actually is like in mid, where the White Vision comes in, and she almost crushes Wanda's head. Like,
Well,
she does that touching thing, and then all you hear is like
the Vision question Wanda said was in the beginning of the episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's when Vision.
When the Vision versus Vision thing, they go and they start fighting through the library and all of that. But I think that's just right after they go back to where Monica is with
Agnes.
Quicksilver. No, that was the Quicksilver.
Oh, Monica
Because
with
basically
Quicksilver,
what
yeah,
happens is Wanda's there. She does the disappearing shit.
Okay.
And they cut back to basically Monica, and then we get the whole shit where she figures out how to take the powers away and all of that, and then we go back to the fight scene with Vision, and then we basically from there get the whole Wanda versus
Agnes.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm getting it mixed up. People just are out there, the people that are listening out there, is because it was all an action. It was basically a whole one big action sequence, and right away, and then they say when it starts out, they start out in the street. They're gonna fight Agnes. White Vision takes the other Vision, goes away. Then it's Agnes and Wanda, and then it's they have their little tussle. Then it goes, like you said, it goes to like the Vision versus Vision. They have their cool scene where they're fighting and phasing through each other.
Yeah.
Then they go into the library and they have that almost like the Ultron Vision kind of thing, where they're trying to discuss like who's the real Vision, and the one from WandaVision is kind of saying like I'm just a memory, like I'm not physical, I'm not anything, but you're the body and you're physical, but there's a little piece of me in you still.
Yeah, they do a little bit like the character is supposed to he's an intelligent computer thing.
Yeah.
So that was the whole breakdown. That's why he flies away when he does, because he realized and understood. And we'll get to the theories and concepts of that later.
Yeah, and basically the whole fight was they fought a little bit, then they went to and they had that discussion, and they both realized like no, they're both real and they're both not. That was the whole conversation that they had. White Vision flies away because he's like, I'm gonna figure this shit out myself, and that's when Vision goes back, but you don't see that until later.
Yeah.
Then we go to the Monica, right?
But you go
Hayward, then Monica.
because basically because because Hayward comes, Monica basically gets away from Quicksilver. Then they show Hayward because the twins end up a little bit before a lot of this.
Yeah.
The twins see that when basically the town is coming after Wanda.
Yeah.
They do a quick scene where what's his name the twin with the powers that Scarlet Witch has. I can't remember his name right now.
No, but we'll get to that.
Wiccan, whatever. He realizes Mom needs help, so they go. Boom. Now we gonna fast forward back to where we were just talking about. After Vision and everything, they have their fight. They have now she's realizing as I open this thing, I'm killing my family. She recloses it, and then we get the iconic scene that everybody was posting, and basically kind of spoiling because they love the preview trailer for the episode where they do the Incredibles while they were all standing together.
Yeah, fighting
and
together.
Gonna fight together, yeah.
And I just want to talk more about the Monica fight because I don't think we're discussing that a lot, but there's a scene where Monica is stuck in the house with the fake Quicksilver, and she's talking to him and kind of finds out his real name isn't Quicksilver, it's something It was
It was
Boner.
something Boner.
Yeah, Ralph Boner. There
Yeah.
you go. So Ralph was Agnes's quote unquote husband in the show, and to me that was happy. I was like, thank God. But we'll get back to that soon.
Yeah.
But just that in that scene, basically he had a necklace around him. That's why Agnes was taking control. Monica's eyes lit up the same color as Agnes's magic and ripped off the thing, and now he's not mind controlled anymore. That's when Monica goes, and again we'll fast forward to the end where she gets into the big fight in the big city, in the town.
But she goes there. Basically, they do, which I like that they did the twins that little second, like they did their shit together, and then they had Hayward come out. Hayward shoots at the twins, and then Monica comes and shows her powers, and like once again, like how Marvel does shit, like they know how to play a smart way of doing it, where it's the first time a character will use their powers and they're not really sure, and it was like, oh, that was cool what you did. And it was like, oh, it's cool what you did. Like, which I always love when they do little simple shit like that, because
it's like a kid shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But so we go back to, we're gonna fast forward to what I originally talking about, where we get the big fight scene, and then what he was just talking about when Monica gets to the town, and Hayward's there. One of the coolest scenes, like after they do their family Incredibles pose and they're doing the little things here and there. Basically, Wanda goes after Agnes. Who does Vision go after? Because the other Vision's gone.
After the other Vision leaves, he was gonna go and help. Basically, what happens is Wanda does the shit where she disappears. Then, if you remember in Age of Ultron, when she pops up behind I think Hawkeye. At the time,
yeah, she does a creepy thing.
Does the shit, and basically what happens is that when they come back from whatever the Salem Witch part that they showed in the previous episode.
Oh no! All right, we're not explaining it right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we kind of missed a little bit. Yeah, so.
All right.
We would have to get to the Salem part, and then we could get to the big fight where I could tell you what happened with it.
So I feel like with this one, because it was just too many things going on at once, and like going for scene is kind of getting like convoluted.
It gets a little confused. I guess. Listen, I told you I watched it like 5 times basically.
Yeah.
So like I remember a lot of like the little details and shit, and there's like little just cut scenes, but it goes right back to them. That's why like you just gotta remember those little things.
Yeah. So while Wanda and Agnes are fighting at one of these parts, Wanda seems like she's getting the upper hand. So she does do that if you watch the Age of Ultron, where she does that behind the back to Iron Man, and he controls his mind, like that weird, creepy witch walk. Goes into Agnes' mind, brings her back to the Salem witch hunts, and has her posted on the pole. But Agnes is like, no, I'm controlling this shit, and kind of like reverses the role a little bit, and
because she basically explains like right before that a little bit, like a little bit of the dialogue shit, because we don't get into a lot of the wordy shit, because this will be like almost a 2-hour episode.
Yeah.
Basically, within the dialogue, she tells her originally like she's here to take your powers. Like remember that. Steal your magic ship from the
from the commercial with the frog, shark.
That was basically a hint to her shit, and that's what she was basically doing. So when they were having the fight, like Wanda couldn't really use her powers. That's why her hands was getting black.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the shit was happening. So she thought like, oh, we'll go back to this and fuck with her, which then it becomes reversed because now she's caught on the Salem shit.
Yeah.
And we get the little tease of the Scarlet Witch. I guess you want to call it a crown or whatever.
Yeah. And that's like when we get to my favorite stuff, I would like it. But they.
But we get that, and then basically she ends up breaking out. They go back to reality, and when they're in that back to Westview, whatever, they go into the fight scene, and what happens is they start to fly. They go into like the red cloud or whatever you want to consider. Like the cooler. I like the graphics how they did it.
Yeah.
Like they go and they're flying over there, and Vision. This is what happens to Vision. He goes to try to help, and she stops Vision.
Oh yeah, that's right. She was like, "Get the hell out!"
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
And then it was because she had a whole plan, obviously. As you see the shit
with the runes.
Yeah, she basically while she's fighting with Agnes, whatever. She's hitting her with everything, and she's giving her basically the powers. And then I forgot exactly what was said, but Agnes basically gets caught into the fact where she can't use her powers the same way Wanda couldn't do it in the last episode.
Well, she
Because
explains.
she said, like, you taught me this type shit. Yeah.
So, just to break it down a little bit, like, in their fight, Agnes is basically saying, you're, like, you have all this power, but you don't know how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how to use it. Like, you're not worthy of the power, almost.
Yeah.
And that's why she was trying to suck it in. So, during their fight with Agnes versus Wanda is basically feeding her all the power, thinking that, and she's turning old, like the Salem Witch scene, like you look like she's dying, but then she flips it, and then she takes all her power back, and then she notices, like you said, like they fly into the clouds, and she made the runes, because like if you remember when she was in the basement, she's like, oh silly, like you can't use your powers when the witch casting the spell makes the runes or whatever. And she made the runes in the clouds, and Agnes couldn't use her power, so she just took it all back, drained it all from Agnes, and almost, I wouldn't say even killed her, because she just took all the power, went to the floor, and I know I'm skipping over a couple things, but I can't keep going back to scene to scene. So in that fight, she brings him down to the ground, basically says, like, you know what, I'm going to learn this shit. Like, so she says, but you're going to stay here, and you're going to be the neighbor, the nosy neighbor that you wanted to be in the show. And she's like, no, don't do it. And then she just wiped her mind. And what was really weird about this, because again, I didn't think that actress was such a great actress, but I was like, yo, she went from being like, no, don't do it, to like, yeah, like her just smile, and it looks like she was crying in her eyes. But I was just like, oh, that was good facial expressions. But basically, right now, Agnes, what Wanda did is made her mind the character that she was in the show. She's like, oh, you want to be that? And I think right before that, Agnes said, you need me. She was like, yeah, and I know where to find you if I do.
Exactly.
So a little bit before that, or while that's happening, we have the Hayward, Monica, and the twins. They have the little fight with the army. So one of the coolest scenes, Hayward, Monica goes to the kids, and she notices that they have powers, and they're like, yo, Hayward was going to shoot the kids, like, oh, fuck them, they got to die. Monica steps in front of it, and bullets go through her, and you can see her using her power a little bit, but I don't think she understands it at all.
Not yet, yeah.
And then one of the bullets is going to hit the Wiccan kid. He stopped it with his powers. That's when Monica knew that, like, oh shit, you got powers too? All right, use them. And like, let's stop the army. And then that's when you get the 2 seconds of kids using the power. But it was kind of cool to see little kids do the little thing. Hayward tries to run away. Then you have Darcy hit him with the ice cream truck and saying, I thought it was a funny line, like, see you in jail or some shit like that. That was kind of funny. So Hayward got stuck because he tried to run away, because I know he's like doing a little nefarious thing, because I think he just wanted to use Vision as a weapon.
Yeah, basically.
And basically, Wanda was telling, Monica goes to Wanda, and Wanda's kind of like, I know, no one's going to look at me, no one's going to understand. And Monica's like, no, I understand. I would have done that for my mom if I had your power, because I want my mom back. And she was like, all right. And she was just like, well, you know, no one's going to like me. No one's going to see me as a hero. They're always going to see me as a Scarlet Witch. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to do what I got to do. And Monica's like, all right. But right before that was the most, I guess, the quote-unquote emotional scene, where that was right after that. Wanda takes Vision and the kids back to the house for one last, good night. And she knew that she had to get rid of everything. Like, the kids are going to have to disappear. Vision's going to have to disappear. The whole, alternate reality kind of thing she set up has to disappear. She does that, and then she flies off to nowhere. And then basically it goes to Juan, right?
Yeah, it goes to whatever.
Well, yeah.
And then to Monica in the theater.
Okay, yeah, that was the one after credit scene. It kind of ends like that, like,
it ends with her flying off. It's kind of like, What? And then you got the 2 end credits. So.
Yeah, 2 end credits. 2 end credits. So the first one is Wu and Monica. They go to the theater in the town because they said that somebody wants to meet Monica, and it's an agent and turns into a scroll, and she basically says he's asking for you, which I'm pretty sure it's Nick Fury.
Yeah, definitely.
And he said why, or because he's like, oh, you've been grounded, but they want you up there, kind of thing, and pointed up to the sky, and then she was like, all right, cool. And then you go to the next end credit scene, and you get Wanda in a lake and mountains, and she's by herself in a cabin, and I guess she's cooking tea, and then it walks past her, and it goes into the room, and she's doing what Doctor Strange did in his movie, where he used the astral form to read, which we missed throughout this whole thing, reading the book, the Darkholme book. Now, just to retrack, that was in the basement of Agatha's basement.
Well, we talked about it in that first episode they showed it. We just missed it in this because they brought it out.
Yeah, they actually said it was the Darkholme, which I said I hope it was. So now she's reading this dark book of like demon stuff in her astral form, and she's using her in her astral form she looks like Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
In her normal form she was just like a girl in sweats. And then while she's reading this evil books, apparently, she hears her kids calling for her, and then whoosh, it's just exciting. It was just exciting that happened.
WandaVision season 2 coming out. I'm just joking.
Yeah. Imagine.
That would have been epic. But yeah, that was pretty much the shits.
Yeah. Sorry for getting all mixed up. It was just like I said, all the scenes kind of mushed together, but in a good way. It was just a lot of fighting, a lot of action. And but yeah, so what were your favorite parts of the episode?
My favorite parts, let's see. I loved all the action. Vision versus Vision, obviously. Yeah. I like how they did the kids.
Yeah.
I like basically the costume that they decided to give her now. I thought that was amazing and smart. It was great.
Yes, very updated.
Like they showed the cheesy version, then they showed now the new version, so you get both. I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think, honestly, the only shit that it was there that is I'm not mad at, but to be mad at is just I know there's more to Wanda that's gonna happen. It's just now I have no idea where it's gonna happen. Besides, obviously, we know she's gonna be in a multiverse movie, but we don't know what that's gonna really be like yet.
Yeah.
So just besides that, but everything else, I loved it. Every episode progressed so good that. It once you get to the color part of the season, it's you could just run through that and be happy. The first 2 episodes are slow, and then it's everything else is just crazy. Yeah, and
did you dislike anything about it?
As disliking, maybe a little bit of I was thinking maybe Monica would have did more with her powers, but obviously, like I said, she probably don't know how to use her shit yet.
Yeah,
she's not really there yet. Maybe just really that. Maybe a little bit more of Agatha doing actual shit instead of just taking the abuse because she was taking the powers.
Yeah.
But besides that, not really, because even the White Vision coming in, he was just being a robot and doing what he was supposed to do, and he had a good fight scene.
Yeah.
And I like how they paid homage to him trying to rip out Vision's fucking thing, and it was just nope, goes right through. They did a lot of good shit with that, but besides those little few things, really not much I could really say. It was you fucking left shit out, or they answered everything as much as they could in fucking 45 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with that. So to me, I think my favorite parts were knowing that that's not the Quicksilver from the Fox universe.
Yeah, alright.
So I was just thank God, yes, when you make the X-Men movies, recast everybody. I don't care what anybody says. If you like the X-Men movies besides Deadpool, you suck.
You gotta accept the shit. You have to recast it. The movies are older. The characters the actors that were in those movies are a lot older, different. Hugh Jackman already said. I think he said he would redo it, but it depended on what he was doing. There was one rumor that he wanted to fight Chris Evans, or Chris Evans was Captain America.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's Patrick Stewart's the guy who plays the young Professor X, honestly, wasn't that great.
No.
I'm trying to think. One, we don't even know what the hell Cyclops is, and the guy who plays Cyclops, he wasn't really there.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many characters in these things that is just like, you have to just redo it and give us a better version and give us
better storylines, give us
Exactly.
better characterization instead of it just being Wolverine and the X-Men or Mystique and the X-Men, which is the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
And give it a fucking white dress with the skull on her fucking
And I was
forehead.
just about to
God
say that.
damn
I
it.
was like, and being Marvel for being what Marvel is, like,
You know
I
they're gonna
actually
do something.
have trust in them looking somewhat what I grew up seeing them look like.
Well, this season would just show you, because I remember telling you when they got her suit. Everyone saw the trailer to it where she gets her suit, but I was like, that episode when she got her suit, I was like, yo, they should do something to modernize it, which they fucking did.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome. I like it.
And I thought when she got the crown, that's how they're gonna do it, because I would have been okay with that too. Like if she just got her crown, like magic crown.
Yeah.
But they did make it a physical crown. But I'm just like, yo, it looks good. It doesn't look stupid.
See, yeah,
and it
it's
goes
not
with the character now.
excessively big. It's like perfect time, and you gotta obviously have the common sense as you've seen at the last end credit scene. That's gonna be something, especially or even in the fight scene. That's something that's gonna happen when she gets into a major fight. Like like that's a costume that she just could pull out like within her magic, and she's gonna be like she'll be Wanda, and then it's gonna be the episode like of her being strong, like that she turned into Scarlet Witch. Like that crown goes on, you're gonna go. That's Scarlet Witch. It's not the Wanda that we've been watching in all these movies that shows.
Yeah.
And that's what's gonna make it better because you can now tell the difference. Like it's not, oh, why she looks the same and like she's supposed to be this strong. Like nah, like you'll see it and be like, oh shit, now the crown's on, now she's getting real. So it's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah, and I do like. I think I'm trying to think of the other things. Of course, the fight scenes are good. I love when White Vision was gonna crush Wanda's head. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, because he was just squeezing the shit out of it. Right.
Of course, the kids using the powers, that was kind of cool. I just wish they did a little bit more with that. I was hoping, and I think this is my problem because, again, I'm listening to all the what ifs, and I'm hoping for the what ifs. So every time I don't see the possibilities that they could have done, like a Mephisto or an hour episode, or Mr. Fantastic or something.
That shit don't get me that mad. Like I would like it, but it doesn't.
No, it
bother me that much. Like it would be cool as fuck, but it's like if you could take like, because literally when I first watched it, what I did was because of the fact that we brought up a couple of times, like it being an hour. I hit the button on the Amazon stick like to see the time length, and it was like 45 minutes, and I was like, all right, show me what you can do in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Honestly, and they jumped in and was just like, oh shit, you put all of this in 45 minutes, and I'm invested. Like I watched it back to back after I watched it the first time. I put it back on to rewatch it because I was like, damn, that was awesome. Because one of the things, my selling point to certain people that I talked to about it, when like they had like, oh, is it really that good? Like, da da da. And I was like, you watch Marvel movies? Like, just get past the fact of the comic books real quick. Like, did you watch? And you like one person I'm talking to, like a fan, like like. I was like, I put it like this. This is completely different than any of the Marvel movies because this is actually a builder, a more I don't want to say like suspense, like, but it told us. I don't know what's the exact word for it, but it told a story. Like you didn't sit there and watch like how when we get Falcon Soldier, that you're gonna get action scenes almost every episode. Like I love the fact that the main fighting didn't happen until one episode, and they just was like, here, take it all.
Yeah.
That's what made it great.
Yeah, and it's good because, to be honest, it's no. I was gonna say how much can you really do, but that's not what I really wanted to say. I don't want to get tired of seeing the same shit over and over. Because if you think about it, throughout the whole show, besides when she had the kids, just think about it. If it was an action scene or like an action show. You're seeing Wanda do the same things. You're seeing Vision do the same things. And maybe the kids doing the same thing. If they got that every episode, it would be like the last episode like we just had would be like, you know what I'm saying?
No, because you're seeing them do it. Like, you actually got to see it. Like, Vision using his powers, like, fully. And, like, being... But, because honestly, I think Vision was a great character throughout the movies. Like, they did him good. And then...
But they never showed a lot
of his shit, And then the twins, you get one day... And I'll always say, like, one of the reasons why I don't like the X-Men Quicksilver and, even
Fox
like Flash,
Fox movie guys.
DC shit, is they took the guy with speed and they just let him have speed. Like
Yeah.
the kid basically stopped him with the mind control, like one twin, and then the other one just like choo choo choo.
Yeah.
And just went, and it was like, because that's the emphasis of what speed should be. You
Yeah.
know,
to show what he's saying, it's like when you see the Flash or when you watch the X-Men Quicksilver, the whole thing is like versus the speed that they showed in Age of Ultron with this MCU Quicksilver, is that when they did slow motions with him in the MCU, it wasn't like they're stopping totally and they're just looking. It was like, yo, he's moving quick, and it was like I think they slowed it down maybe two or three times for a quick millisecond in Age of Ultron. It was one when Thor threw his hammer where he was in the middle of running. But what I liked about it, again, this is a show of power, and I know we're getting a little nerdy, but he was in the middle of running and he didn't just stop. He was just like, oh, what? Grabbed it, and then right away, boom, flew back.
He lost the control.
Yeah, and then it goes, I think it was just one where he was speeding and punching all the little Ultrons, and it was just like the slow motion of the destroying.
But it was just to show how cool it would look, like showing him hitting something.
Because you want to see something, like you don't just want to see a flash. But with like the Fox movies, it's like he doesn't move, and then everything slow. Like it's not like he has super speed. It's almost like he slows down time. That's totally
that's what
stupid.
It makes it look like,
And again, I don't want to talk about Justice League, which is...
But all right, I just was going to say, because I kind of realized when I was saying the Justice League shit, because I really don't remember how they did the Flash really in that one, but I will go and jump into... Remember when we watched Man of Steel, and we loved the fact that they did the fight with Superman, like how he was moving quick and shit?
Yeah, it was like... Yeah. So, and they never did any slowdown in that movie.
Yeah, so whatever Justice League, I might be wrong. I'll find out in a few weeks what it is. But go back to WandaVision. Sure, I was gonna say, like, this is just my last really take that I have, like, besides going into what possibilities I have to honestly say, in 9 episodes, and this kind of is a good and a bad thing, they really made it hard for Black Widow to now semi-succeed because of the fact that anybody who's really watched this shit, they're gonna be like, damn, like, Wanda Scarlet Witch, she's so cool, and all of this shit, like, and all of these things are happening.
In the MCU now.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just the interest, I'll say, like, because you know the character doesn't have power.
Yeah.
Some people like us, like,
I see what you're
watch
saying.
it and be like, you know, the cool hand-to-hand combat and Taskmaster is gonna be cool, but
I think this is
people that don't know shit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think this is where Falcon and Winter Soldier are going to reverse what they're doing here, because you got these godlike characters in this one, and then you really got a human that has high-tech wings, and then a guy that's sort of a super soldier with a metal arm, and it's just like, so you got these gods versus the ground heroes, right? So I feel like, and again, it's a different pace. That's why I think that Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be good, is because, again, you're going to have action, and I know I was just saying, like, it will get tiring, like, with Wanda, but I was like, the reason why it wouldn't get tiring with this, because Wanda's show was more of a drama mystery, while this one's going to be an action thriller. So you know, the Falcon Winter Soldier is going to be an action thriller. So the storyline is going to match what they got to do, and then just think about all the flips and all the shit. Because again, Wanda doesn't flip. Wanda flies. Wanda uses magic. Vision doesn't do flips and shit and cool action scenes. He goes through shit and he beats shit up because he's super strong. So again, action scenes they're cool when it's a grand spectacle, but they're not cool in a certain sense when it's grounded. And if that was every episode,
no, that's true. Because I mean, those shows, like, honestly, they're gonna be so completely different. Like, especially if you've been watching the MCU movies and you've seen the Falcon and Winter Soldier relationship, you understand, like, especially when you watch the trailer, Like, there's gonna be a lot of good laughs, like the little random laugh shits about like their competitiveness towards each other and their dislike but like for each other.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be cool, and then you're gonna get a lot of just cool ass action scenes, like, and then once again they decided to put a good villain in there, knowing that we had Baron Zemo in there.
Yeah, with the mask.
With the mask and everything.
Damn, they're doing great.
Yeah, so it's gonna be cool. Like, I can't wait to see how they bring him into it, like how they show him and shit. But like that, I get what you're saying. Like, it does make sense, but it was just that little part of me that thought about that, and I was just like, damn, like I really want to see Black Widow. Like, I want that movie, and I was just like, damn, a lot of people were gonna be like, I want to dress like Wanda for Halloween and do that. Like, she's like now the main chick, like, to be honest.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Scarlett Johansson was the main chick technically.
Yeah.
Until that.
But she deserved the movie before she was killed off in the MCU. But no, I get what you're saying. I think but I still think is gonna. Because I feel like, to be honest, that was supposed to be out already. So their credit scenes.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
They flipped it, or at least they changed the storyline somewhat to make it match to the timeline. Because even though that's a prequel to Infinity War, but I feel like because everything's a hint towards this new phase.
Now, depending on what it is, like,
you get
besides that movie.
Yeah, because you're getting all the theories with the Spider-Man movies that they're gonna do like a Spider-Verse-ish kind of movie.
I don't even believe that. I'm sorry, people. I'm a diehard Spider-Man fan, but we're not seeing Tobey Maguire. We're not seeing crying Garfield. Sorry, it's not happening.
That'd be funny if that was his thing, like he's just crying the whole time. And then, what if it was black suit Tobey Maguire and he does a little dance?
Start doing a dance. Like, yeah, we don't need that. Like, there's kind of a reason why the multiplayer that Spider-Man, with Miles Morales, I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
They made the jokes about that because it was, it is what it is. Like, we dealt with it. It happened, all right? Like, I don't want to talk about it. It angers me.
But that's basically the show. I would say give it a try. If you haven't seen the season and you've seen this episode, check it out, man. Give it a try, even if you're not a fan of all the movies or all the stuff. It gives
you a separate story, and it kind of explains certain things that you don't see in them. Like, if you didn't, let's say, like you said, you don't watch the movie, there's enough explanation to understand the relationship between those two to be fine, and you'll be able to watch 9 episodes. And listen, once you get past the first 2, because they are weird with the black and white, and I did enjoy them at the time. Yeah, it gets better once. Like once it gets to the color and you get a little bit more of a faster pace. Yeah, it was great. Like, honestly, I give the whole season I'll give it like a 8.5.
Yeah, I'll give it the same.
Like, there's a little bit of shit that it could have been put in there, but for what it was and the times that we're in right now with everything. Yeah. Like, hey, that was the best thing, and we went a whole year without any Marvel content. So that to be the first Marvel content in the whole year of live action.
And now we're getting like nonstop.
It overpassed freaking Mandalorian, and Mandalorian was what it was. Like, I love the Mandalorian.
And another thing, and I just said 8, but I give it an 8.5 because I felt like some of the writing was genius, especially when you get to episode, I think it's either 3 or 4, when they have the questions on all the boards, and just to see that is exactly what everyone's asking. Mm-hmm. They knew enough.
They know everything that we were gonna say. They're watching
a year ago that when they're filming this shit, what we're as fans are gonna be asking, and they delivered. I feel like they delivered.
If you watch South Park and you ever if you're like a South Park head, and this is where my joke's going because I'm not giving a good build for it. Basically, you've seen the episode when Randy goes to Disney, whatever, and you run into Mickey Mouse. That's what I feel like we're dealing with. They're watching our algorithms to the point where they were just like, we know what's going to happen. Ha ha! Like Mickey Mouse is here just fucking with us. Like, that's the whole that's what made it great for me. Like, I love the fact that it was just like, they know how we thinking. Like, this is stupid crazy. Yeah. But it was fucking awesome. I can't wait for Falcon Soldier or Soldier Falcon, whatever the fucking wordplay is, in 2 weeks. We're definitely going to break that down. Maybe we'll give a preview shit and talk a little bit more about the trailer because kind of hard to remember. But I think that's when it's going to have a lot of crazy random Easter eggs in it.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And again, I heard theories, but I'm not believing shit anymore.
Yeah. Listen, I was wrong. I'm not Venmoing nobody $5. Like,
my sister said that you're gonna be owing a lot of people money.
yeah, because honestly, like I was just going off. Like, I listened to other podcasts. I won't lie. And I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna ride this wave with Mephisto. And now I have a completely other theory when we get to Doctor Strange's movie. Once we know what's happening and coming out, we'll talk about those.
Stop believing everything. I thought we were gonna see Mr. Fantastic. I thought we were gonna see Doctor Strange. I was like, damn it! We're gonna see nobody.
A lot of shit, but they did what they did, and you can't be mad at it. Like, it is what it is.
All right, so we get to a normal like, follow, subscribe. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even though we don't use it that much. Spotify, SoundCloud, all that. Like, listen, subscribe, and tell everybody about us. And once you do, and we can get money for this, we'll be doing better and have better shit.
We'll have better shit, and it'll be awesome. Let's go.
Have a good night.